Hi there, I'm Rod Bergeron, and welcome back to another quick and easy watercolor painting. I just got back from a walk and I seen this little sort of vignette through the woods, and I thought it'd be a great thing to try today. So I've wet this and I have a water sort of coming down in a little bit of a valley here and then back up. And I'm going to pick up my blue and I'm just going to give it a little swipe across the top there. And I'm going to tip my board up like this for a second and see if I can't get some of this to run down this way. So I'm trying to get the paint to run down here. Wet my brush a little bit. Just dry it up a little tad there. Just get that to run down this way. So with watercolor paper, the paint will only go where the page is wet. And that's the most interesting thing about watercolor painting, is that your paint is only going to travel where the page is wet. I'm going to tip the board back this way and get some of this water to run back here, and you'll see how it's already started to pick that up there. I'm going to do that one more time real quickly. So now I have it tipped so it's coming back towards me, and you'll see that a lot of that paint is starting to come down there now. It takes a few seconds, so don't try to hurry it too much. So I can get this back in frame here. All right, I'm going to not rinse this brush out, so this still has the blue on it. I'm going to pick up a whole bunch of Payne's gray, and I'm just going to drop it in there in a few places, and we're just going to let it run to wherever it is it's going to go to. Okay, we're not going to try to influence it too much. Just going to let it go. Now I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to put it right into my Payne's gray. Not into the wash that I made earlier, but right into the pigment on the palette. And again, we're just going to let this go to wherever it is that it's going to go to. And I want you to see the motion that I'm making here, right? So I'm tapping the brush onto the page. There's no brush strokes involved in that. All right, I'm going to go back to the wash and I'm going to make a quick sort of swooping line across there. Again, don't try to influence that too much. All right, now I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow ochre here. And in these sort of lighter areas in this brush line here, I'm going to touch that yellow ochre into there. Pick up some more yellow ochre and a little bit more. And I'm going to grab some sienna here. I'm just going to put a couple of splots of sienna around. And again, we're not going to try to influence this too much. We're just going to let the paint go to wherever it's going to go. You've seen me do this before probably. This is my #1 watercolor brush, and I've sharpened end on it. You could also, for this, use like a barbecue skewer or a wooden, like a wooden toothpick, anything like that. So I'm going to actually put in quite a few trees and brush through this. And so I'm actually scribing a line deep into the paper. I'll make some of this cross over each other here. Just like that. All right. That's pretty good. Let's move on. So I'm going to get some more yellow ochre. And yellow ochre is going to be my basis for all this across here, okay? But we are going to add some sienna into it. So one long swipe from one side all the way over to the other, okay? So yellow ochre, load up your brush, and one long swipe. And you'll see what happens is that color starts to move down into the yellow ochre pretty much immediately. And I'm going to just tap my brush with some more yellow ochre on it in a few places. Again, I'm not going to rinse this out. I'm going to use this to pick up the sienna and just touch the brush onto the page. Just tap it on there, okay? I need some more sienna up in here, I think. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that and drop it into that wet area. Okay. I'm going to go back to my brush, or not my brush, my sharpened end on my brush, I guess I should say. And now I'm trying to scribe a few more lines into this. I think I need a little bit more darkness across the front here. I mean, so I'm going to pick up my brush. Again, I'm not going to rinse this brush out. And I'm going to pick up some more. This is Payne's Gray. Put a little Payne's Gray in a few other places here. And again, we're going to let that all just bleed off to wherever it's going to go. And this is where you sort of get to add your own creative individuality to this sort of painting, is by scribing into this and, you know, really, you know, making some expressive lines. And I think that's about it. I think we got to let this dry and just see what we're going to get. I think one more thing I might try is, this is my little bag of salt. I'm going to put a couple of grains of salt in the top there, a couple of grains of salt in the top there, and maybe a few across the bottom. Okay, let's let it dry and see what we get. All right, let's have a look at this. I'm going to tell you at first glance, this might be the best one that I've ever done. This might be the best loose watercolor painting that I've ever done. Look at what this salt has done to create these trees for us. Look what this salt has done along here. The darkness is really well balanced with the light. The color combinations are working super, super well in here. I mean, I think this right here is one of the best, and this one. So it's the use of a minor amount of salt. The other thing I will say to you is, this isn't really good tape, but when you tape your page down and you have it taped to the board, don't try to touch any of that tape while it's drying. The other thing is, let it air dry and don't come back and touch it with your finger. Oh, is that dry? I've really destroyed a lot of paintings doing that. Let's see if we can get this sort of squared up here. Yeah, see, that turned out really well as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I like the little white areas that are going on in here. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know where you're from too. If you could drop me a comment in the comment section, let me know where you're from. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, if you're currently a subscriber, I thank you very much. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment or something you'd like to see me paint, please leave me a comment about that too. Thanks for watching today. Hope you have an awesome day painting. We'll see you again real soon. Yeah, I think I might actually have to sign that one, right? A little RB on there. All right, thanks for watching today.